The underground vinyl fair was loud in the way feelings get loud when nobody says anything out loud. Neon signs buzzed pink and amber above wooden crates stuffed with record sleeves. The whole basement smelled like old paper and cheap candles someone was definitely overcharging for. Everyone down here was doing a look. Thrifted everything. Bucket hats. Tote bags with opinions printed on them. The kind of crowd that called authenticity a personality. Kai Emerson did not fit the room. Not because he tried to stand out. Because he genuinely did not care. He wore a black-ribbed long-sleeve layered under an open olive green overshirt, straight-leg dark navy jeans, and low white leather sneakers that had one tiny scuff on the left toe he refused to fix. His hair was a low fade, slightly grown out on top, and he had this calm about him that read less like confidence and more like he had already survived the worst thing and nothing else really scared him anymore. He was 27. He had just walked away from a $60 million acquisition offer for his AI software company. Walked away. No press. No announcement. Just closed the laptop and left the meeting. Tonight he was nobody. That was the whole point. He was flipping through a crate in the back corner when he heard her voice before he saw her. That one's overpriced and the B-side is scratched. I checked. He turned. She was talking to the vendor, not him. She had on a faded rust-orange oversized tee tucked halfway into wide-leg black cargo pants that sat low on her hips. Her sneakers were chunky vintage Reeboks in cream and gray, worn in the way only real wear-ins look. Her hair was in two flat twists pinned up with a tortoiseshell clip that was barely doing its job. No bag. No jewelry except one thin silver ring on her index finger. She looked like she knew exactly where everything in this room was priced wrong. The vendor tried to argue. She pulled out her phone, showed him a photo, and he dropped the price without another word. Kai watched the whole thing. She tucked the record under her arm, turned to leave, and almost walked directly into him. "You always audit strangers' purchases?" he asked. She looked at him the way people look at weather. Observational. Unbothered. "Only when they're about to overpay," she said. "I wasn't buying that one." "Good." She moved past him. He turned. "What's your name?" She kept walking. "Not something I give out at vinyl fairs." The neon lights buzzed. Someone dropped a record crate 2 aisles over. Kai stood there holding absolutely nothing, and somehow felt like he had just lost something. He had never had a conversation end before he was ready for it to end. Not once. Not ever. Until now. He found her again. He was not looking. That is what he told himself. It was a Thursday. A small outdoor book swap event in a concrete courtyard strung with paper lanterns that swayed in the kind of breeze that feels like the city is exhaling. She was sitting cross-legged on a low wall, a book open in her lap, a half-eaten granola bar next to her that she clearly forgot was there. She had on a sage green hoodie with the sleeves pushed up, straight-leg light-washed jeans with a frayed hem at the bottom, and the same worn Reeboks. Her twists were down this time, sitting on her shoulders. She looked like she had come here between two other places and found 5 minutes of peace. Her name was Nova Adeyemi. He found that out later. She tutored high school students in math and science 4 days a week. She sold handmade book illustrations online on weekends. She also worked the front desk at a community arts center on Tuesday evenings for a stipend that barely covered transit. She slept when the schedule allowed it. She did not know who he was. He could tell. That was rare enough that it made him stop walking. He sat down 2 feet away from her on the same wall. Not close. Not performative. Just sat. She glanced up. Then back down. "You followed me," she said. Flat. No accusation. Just a fact she was naming. "I live 3 blocks from here," he said. "Sure. I do." She turned a page. What do you want? He thought about it. Actually thought about it. I don't know yet, he said. She looked at him then. Really looked. Her eyes were the kind of steady that made people feel like they were being read. That's the most honest thing a man has said to me in a long time, she said. Low bar. Extremely. A pause. The lantern swayed. Somewhere a kid knocked over a stack of paperbacks and laughed about it. Nova, she said finally. He blinked. My name. Since you were clearly going to keep not asking. Kai, he said. I know, she said. He went still. You know. She held up her phone. His face. A tech blog headline from 6 weeks ago. She had looked him up after the vinyl fair. You knew this whole time, he said. I wanted to see if you'd tell me yourself. She closed her book. You didn't. The lantern swayed. The courtyard got quieter. She stood up, tucked the book under her arm, picked up the granola bar, and looked at him with something that was not quite disappointment and not quite done. Next time lead with the truth, she said. Or don't come back. She walked away. And Kai sat there on that wall in the paper lantern light, realizing she had known the whole time and chosen to say nothing. Waiting. Testing. And he had failed. He showed up at the art center on a Tuesday evening. Not to impress her. He told the front desk he wanted to donate materials for the youth program. He had done the research. The center needed supplies. That was real. But he also knew she worked Tuesdays. That part he did not say out loud. She saw him the second he walked in. She was wearing a deep burgundy long-sleeve tee, black wide-leg trousers with a cropped fit, and clean white low-top chucks. Her hair was in a single loose braid over one shoulder. She had a pen tucked behind her ear and a clipboard in her hand, and she looked like someone who had already handled 4 problems today and was ready for a 5th. She handed off the clipboard to a colleague, walked straight up to him, and spoke low. You cannot keep accidentally showing up places I am. I brought a $10,000 supply donation for the youth program, he said. She stared at him. That's not about you, he said quickly. I looked up the center. They're underfunded. I have money that needs to go somewhere real. This is real. A long pause. You can't buy your way into my trust, she said. I'm not trying to. Then what are you trying to do, Kai? He exhaled. I walked away from $60 million because I didn't believe in what they were going to do with my work. I have been walking away from things my whole life because nothing felt worth staying for. He looked at her. You said something at the book swap. About honesty. I have not stopped thinking about it. She was quiet. You want to take the donation or not? He asked. She took it. And then she did something he did not expect. She said, there's a taco spot 2 blocks down. I get off in an hour. He nodded. I'll wait. That hour was the realest conversation either of them had in years. She told him about growing up watching her mother work 3 jobs and never complain once, and how that silence taught Nova to never ask for help because asking meant admitting the ground was unsteady. He told her about the acquisition. The real reason he walked away. The lead investor had wanted to use the AI to build surveillance tools. Kai had spent 6 years building something he believed would help people. He killed the deal in one afternoon and had not talked about it publicly since. You protect things, she said. I try. So do I. The tacos went cold. Neither of them noticed. Then her phone lit up. A name flashed across the screen. She saw it and something in her face shifted. Fast. Gone before he could name it. I have to go, she said. Nova. She was already standing. Who was that? He asked. She picked up her jacket. Someone from before. Before what? She looked at him 1 second longer than she needed to. Before I knew what to watch out for. She left. And Kai sat in that taco spot with cold food and the feeling that whatever just happened was not a small thing. That name on her screen. The way her whole body changed. Something was coming. He could feel it. The article dropped on a Friday morning. The headline read, Tech recluse Kai Emerson's mysterious new muse, who is the woman behind his sudden public reappearance. There were photos. Grainy but clear enough. Him and Nova at the taco spot. The book swap. Even one from outside the art center. Kai read it once. Then again. Then he called his assistant and found out the photos had been sold to a media outlet by someone with access to his calendar and location data. Someone close. His best friend and co-founder, Dre. The person he had trusted for 6 years. Dre had been quietly in talks with the same investors Kai had walked away from. They needed a story to draw Kai back into the public eye. A personal angle. A reason for him to show his face again so the deal could be resurrected. Kai sat in his apartment in a plain white tee and gray sweats and did not move for 40 minutes. Then his phone rang. It was Nova. Explain this, she said. No, hello. I didn't know. I'm finding out right now. My students saw it. The kids I tutor. My face is attached to a headline about a billionaire's love life and I did not consent to any of this. Nova. I know. You know, she repeated. Kai, I have spent my whole life controlling the one thing I could control, which is who gets access to me. And in 2 weeks of knowing you, that is gone. I'm going to fix it. You can't fix this. Who sold the photos? I know who it was. I'm going to pull the story, shut down the outlet source, and make sure your name is removed from every version of it. A long silence. Why would you do that? She said. Quiet now. Different. Because you didn't sign up for any of this. Because what we have is not a headline. And because I am not going to let someone use you to get to me. Another silence. Longer. I need a few days, she said. Okay. Don't call me. Okay. The line went quiet. Kai set his phone down. He opened his laptop. He spent the next 14 hours making calls, pulling legal leverage, and dismantling 6 years of a friendship he had believed in completely. The story came down by Sunday. Nova's name was gone from every version of it. Dre did not call. Kai did not expect him to. Some things, once broken, do not ask for forgiveness. They just leave. And somewhere across the city, Nova sat at her desk in a faded navy hoodie and looked at a blank canvas she could not bring herself to paint and wondered if walls were always the right answer. Or if she had just never met someone worth opening the door for. Until maybe now. Maybe. 3 weeks passed. Nova came back on her own terms. That was important to her. That was important to him too, even if he did not say it. She texted first. One line. The art center is doing a small gallery showcase Friday. You can come if you want. No pressure. He came. The space was warm and imperfect in the best way. String bulbs hung low from exposed pipes. The walls were covered in work from youth students and local artists. The room smelled like fresh paint and somebody's jerk chicken from the potluck table in the corner. Kai wore a charcoal long-sleeve Henley, dark straight-leg trousers, and clean black leather sneakers. Simple. No flex. He stood near the back with his hands in his pockets and watched the room the way he always did when he wanted to understand something without disturbing it. Nova was near the far wall. She had on a deep forest green slip dress layered over a white long-sleeve tee, vintage brown loafers, and small gold hoops that caught the light just slightly. Her twists were half up, half down, and she was laughing at something a kid was telling her, really laughing, the kind that reaches all the way up. He watched her for a moment. Then he walked over. "You came," she said. "You invited me. I didn't think you'd actually show." "I know," he said. "That's why I showed." They stood side by side looking at a painting one of her students made. A figure standing in a doorway between two different kinds of light. "I pulled the deal off the table permanently," he said. "Dre's out. The investors are done. All of it." She looked at him. "You didn't have to do that." "Yeah, I did. That's a lot of money to walk away from twice." "The first time I walked away for principle," he said. "This time I walked away for something that matters more." She was quiet for a moment. "You can't say things like that and then expect me to keep my walls up," she said. "I know. Kai. Nova." She exhaled. Slow. Like she had been holding something for a long time and finally decided the weight was not worth it. "I don't do easy," she said. "I don't want easy. I will leave a room before I let someone make me feel small." "Good," he said. "I need someone who does that." She looked at the painting again. The figure in the doorway. "I'm scared," she said. Quietly. "Like it cost something." "Me too," he said. And for the first time, neither of them walked away. The string bulbs hummed above them. The room moved around them warm and alive. A kid ran past laughing. The jerk chicken smelled incredible. Nova leaned just slightly into the space beside him. Not performance. Not a moment. Just two people who had both survived hard things choosing, quietly, without announcement, to stop surviving alone. Some things do not arrive loudly. Some things just stay. The end.